Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namo. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. गुरुदेव 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 जय गुरुदेव। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन बीबीडी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद श्री गुरु गौरांग की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 11, text number 8 and 9. लघूनि वै समाम्नात दश पंच च नाडिका ते द्वे मुहूर्त प्रहरा षड्याम सप्तवानृणाम्। लघूनि वै समाम्नात दश पंच च नाडिका ते द्वे मुहूर्ता प्रहरः षड्याम सप्तवानृणाम्। लघूनि वै समाम्नात दश पंच च नाडिका ते द्वे मुहूर्त प्रहरः षड्याम सप्तवान्नृणाम्. Mataji. What word meaning? Laghuni, such laghus. Why exactly? Samamnata is called. Dashapancha, 15. Cha, also. Nadika, a nadika. Te, of them. Dve, two. Muhurta, a moment. Praharaha, 3 hours. Shad, 6. Yama, 1/4 of a day or night. Sapta, 7. Va, or Dranam, of human calculation. Translation: 15 laghus make one nadika, which is also called a danda. Two dandas make one muhurta, and 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night, according to human calculation. There is no purport to this verse, so we'll go to the next. Dvajashartha palonmanam chaturbhish chaturangulai swarnamasai krutai chidram yavat prastha jala plutam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: the measuring pot of one nadika or danda can be prepared with a 6 pala weight 14 ounce pot of copper, in which a hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 masha and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on the water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called one danda. Purport: it is advised herein that the bore in the copper measuring pot must be made with a probe weighing not more than 4 masha and measuring not longer than 4 fingers. This regulates the diameter of the hole. The pot is submerged in the water and the overflooding time is called a danda. This is another way of measuring the duration of a danda. Just as time is measured by sand in a glass. It appears that in the days of Vedic civilization there was no dearth of knowledge in physics, chemistry, or higher mathematics. Measurements were calculated in different ways as simply as could be done. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees this morning to discuss from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. When people outside, this is their time to sip their teas and coffees, which they do, but we devotees come together in the morning and we drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, as indicated in the first chapter of Bhagavatam itself, first canto. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. This Bhagavatam is abode of mellows of devotional service. So this is a great fortune of devotees. So we thank all the devotees who have gathered this morning online and on site to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. When Srila Prabhupada was installing the deities of Kishore Kishori or Radha Krishna deities in that is in Chicago, he named these deities Kishore Kishori. Something different than every time he names the deities Radha Sham Sundar, Radha Madhav, Radha Gopinath, like that. But this time he named them Kishore Kishori. And while naming them, he indicated that these Kishore and Kishori, this Radha and Krishna, they always live eternally youthful. That means there is no effect of time on them. Because today's subject matter is the discussion on time factor. So Srila Prabhupada said they are beyond the effect of time factor because they are none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha and Krishna. And then he also indicated that time has effect on everyone except that person who has created the time or time himself. Krishna is non-different the time, therefore time cannot affect him. But everyone else is under the clutches of time. Once during 2004, I think, and 3, our dear Sankirtan Prabhu used to personally invite devotees to come to Radha Gopinath's Brahmotsav. And during 2004 and 3, he used to call the devotees and telling them that, so this is the 14th year of birthday celebration of Radha Gopinath, so please come, because they have been established in 1988. So that means 13 years. Then the next year, 2004, he called them saying that this is the 15th year of Radha Gopinath, so please come. And then on 2005, he called them saying that this is 16th birthday celebration of Radha Gopinath. Naturally, next year when he called again 16th year celebration. But that devotee was little careful, attentive. He said, Prabhuji, last time you said it was 16 years celebration of his appearance day. So that must be, this year there must be 17th, isn't it? So Sankirtan Prabhu said, no, it is always 16. From now onwards, they are always fresh youth. That means Kishore, Kishori. That means they will never become older than 16 because they are Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Radha Gopinath. So that goes to show that how the time affects everyone except the creator of the time or the time himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So whether it is Krishna so apparently in this chapter we're discussing about the lot of technical matter of time and measurement of time, and it may appear little dry and very philosophical and very technical, but actually it is not, because it's connected with Krishna. Anything that is connected with Krishna cannot be dry and too technical. Because attention to the details is a sign of love. So we may consider this, okay, this too technical and too detailed subject matter of time, and once last time when this chapter was going on, I was there present. This chapter was, it was considered that let us not discuss on this chapter. It was, we went on to the next chapter, that is 12th chapter. We somehow or other, we skipped this chapter, considering that this is too technical. But this time, thanks to the devotees who have considered to discuss on this chapter, although it may apparently be little technical. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Siddhanta balye chitta nakare alasa iha haite Krishna lage sudhrada manasa. He says that Siddhanta balye chitta nakare alas. While trying to understand the Siddhanta, conclusion of the scriptures, we cannot be lazy or we cannot neglect, oh, this is too technical like that. Because when we go deeper into the philosophy or Siddhanta, then what happens? We can fix our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna and perform our devotional service. Therefore, whatever has been discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, with a purpose it has been discussed. Otherwise, Shukdev Goswami wouldn't have spared any time to discuss if it was not at all important. So therefore, in this chapter, Vidura, in the previous chapter, Vidura requested Maitreya Muni to describe about the eternal time. In the text 10 of last chapter. So now, in response to Vidura's question, Maitreya Muni is describing the details of eternal time. So, I remember in my childhood when I first learned how to measure time. In those days, there were only analog clocks. There was no digital clocks in those days. So as I think going into my primary school, so I didn't know how to measure time. So even I had to go to school, I had to ask my father, what is time now? My father used to tell me, go and look at the watch, you will understand. I used to look at, analog clock, I don't understand anything. Then I said, what is the time? I don't know. Then he would ask me, okay, where is the small hand? Then I would say it is like to say 9. And where is your big hand? It is indicating 6. Somewhere between 8 and 9 and 6. So that means it is 8:30, isn't it? That is how, we learn time. But it is only to indicate time. We cannot actually understand time. It is only a measuring of time at the most we can do. However, the time is very, very powerful. Krishna personally speaks about himself being a time. He says that Kalosmi lokaksha krut pravruddha lokan samahartum iha pravruttaha. He says that I am time. Time, I am destroyer of everything. And I have appeared to destroy everyone who have assembled here. But don't worry, Arjuna, you are spared. Except you people, you Pandavas, everyone will be vanquished. So that is the effect of time. That means devotees have some hope. Because Krishna himself is telling that devotees can be spared because they are surrendered to Krishna. So I remember last year when I went to UK and London to hold exhibitions, art exhibitions, along with Baldev Prabhu, we toured all over UK, covering at least 7-8 major cities and holding Srila Prabhupada's painting exhibition. And after that, I thought of visiting, there are so many famous galleries, art painting exhibitions. And in London city itself, there are 2 major, very big size art galleries, which are known as National Art Gallery. It is very next to the Nelson Column. We are heard about that Nelson Column. In that square only, there's a huge National Art Gallery. And I went to see all those paintings. At least a room of this size, this our temple also, there are at least 100 such rooms like that. Not one, two. Minimum 100 or even more than that. And each painting in those, in those halls is at least, let us say, half of this, this wall in front of me. I mean, from this end to that end, there will be only two big paintings. Such huge paintings. And apart from that, there are smaller paintings also. The point is that although all these paintings have been painted, so much of time and energy has gone into that, isn't it? Just to write one small, offering. We have to write every time we write a Vyas Puja offering to our Gurudev. So it takes so much of time. And what to speak of, doing a small sketch. What to speak of making a painting itself. And what to speak of, in those days there was no facilities like photography and this and that. Now the AI has come, everything, we can just create a painting right in AI. But it was olden days, there were hardly any facility. There were not even electric bulbs available in those. All those paintings were made during daytime only, without any technical support. So much of time and energy has gone into making these paintings. All the paintings are there, but where are the people who are represented at that painting? They have gone and gone forever, isn't it? Because time has erased them. And now I could see that there were paintings during Mahaprabhu's time, 1400, 1500 time, 500 years ago. I mean, such old paintings. But I could see that effect of time on those paintings. That paintings are becoming old and dull, and the colors are becoming dull. And there are so many cracks. And there is restoration, something called as art restoration. So they try to restore the paintings. But how much ever they try to do, but still the effect of time will be there. Now the subject matter of those paintings, the people who have been depicted in those paintings are gone and gone forever. And similarly, very soon the paintings will also be finished, isn't it? Because as per the conclusion that time is a destroyer of everything. If it can destroy the people, what to speak of the paintings, then they will also be destroyed. So, of course, not much of use of painting such people who have done anything for this world. Srila Prabhupada, understanding this, so he thought of creating windows with spiritual world. He instructed his disciples who were very good artists, so he asked them to paint Krishna paintings. And thus we can see that Prabhupada's books are flooded with so many beautiful paintings which are eternal. In that sense, anybody, who have painted them, they are glorious, and the personality themselves who have been painted in those paintings are also glorious because they're all connected to Krishna or Krishna directly. So also Srila Prabhupada used to tell that when he visited France, Paris, so he asked, "Oh, this is France." And Napoleon Bonaparte used to say that France means Napoleon, Napoleon means France. That is how proud he was. that he was thinking that I am the creator of this France and Paris. So this is the statement he used to make every now and then. Then Prabhupada asked, okay, now the France is here, Paris is there, where is Napoleon Bonaparte? He is nowhere to be seen. So that is the effect of time. So no one is spared. And just like, we all have gone to school and colleges and we all have given our examinations, even Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav classes, we have taken and given exams. So we are given time, about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and we just go on writing, and we look at the time, okay, there is enough time, and then there are so many questions to be answered and so many things to be analyzed and written down. So When the time is ticking, we still realize that still I have to write so many questions. I have not yet solved all the questions. But when the time comes, the examiner, the supervisor comes and he just asks, so please give me your papers. So sometimes we are we are little more, no, let me write few more words. But then at last he comes and he just takes away, snatches our answer papers, isn't it? And that is how I could see the effect of time. Here, the supervisor or examiner is, considering himself as authority, and he comes and he can snatch away our answer papers, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna will come and snatch away all what we have at the end of our time. So, similarly, many times when we try to dress their Lordship Sri Radha Gopinath in the morning, and we think that, okay, there is enough time, let me do this kind of decoration, that, painting this and that. And when, one thing, when you sit in front of them and try to dress them, it is like a complete samadhi. If you want to know what samadhi is, then come forward and become eligible to dress their lordships. Or else you can dress your own deities at your own homes. But one thing is for sure, when you sit in front of them to dress them, time doesn't exist, isn't it? It happens so. So if you know what is how to pass time without time, so that is the time when you have to come in front of their lordships and try to dress them. Because we started, let us say, at 5:45, now it is 7:30, almost like 2 hours. We didn't realize how time is passing. And devotees, they come, Prabhu, please, now it is 7:25, and they put on lights, and then they put off Prabhupada's, tape. We keep on hearing those classes, and then we dress, because it's a meditation. Hearing Srila Prabhupada and serving their lordships. It's a wonderful meditation and wonderful service. But when the time comes, the Dasan Das devotee, they come forward and they actually put off Srila Prabhupada, so that we'll understand now it is something else. You finalize it and then complete the service. So at last, they actually sometimes, Prabhu, please, now it is 7:30. This is too much of taking time. So please come down. So they actually literally they pull us. Come, this is enough. The time, even when you worship the Lord who is time personified, still the time, effect of time, for us it is there. For himself it is, when we go to the spiritual world, we can dress their lordships eternally, that means continuously, without any restriction of any time. But since we are in this material world, where time has restriction on everybody and everything, so we have to respect the time. So, therefore, as Krishna indicated in this verse of Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi Lokakshekrit Pravruddho, he says that except you, Pandavas, everyone will be destroyed. So that means we have some hope against hope, because devotees are spared by Krishna because they have surrendered their lives. The same thing has been reiterated in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said that Ayur Harati Vaipumsam Uddyanastau Chayannasau Yat Tasyartyo Yat Kshodonita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Wonderful sloka, wherein it is mentioned that Ayur Harati Vaipumsam, the rising and setting of the sun is actually destroying the lives of people. And here, right in front of our temple, we have this ocean where in the evening time people come forward and they sit for long hours looking at the setting of the sun. Actually, they think that they are enjoying life. Actually, their lives are being diminished, because the time is actually ticking and taking away their valuable time. Uddyanastau Chayannasau, that means every rising and setting of a sun is actually destroying our lives. Tasyarthe yakshano nita uttama shloka vartaya. However, those who spend time in hearing the glories of the Lord and chanting the glories of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Okay, their lives are spared. They are saved because they are actually utilizing the time which is meant for where to be utilized. They are not simply passing the time. Sometimes when we travel in local trains, there somebody comes, time pass. They send some eatables or some kind of a thing. Actually, we cannot pass time. Time is passing our lives, and sometimes time killers. That also now the people, they want to kill the time. How is it possible? Time is killing every one of us, and there's no question of we killing the time. But people have this kind of a notion that they can pass the time, they can kill the time. They are in total ignorance, that means. So therefore, when we come together and discuss the glories of the Lord, and that means actually we are investing our time. Yesterday, Abhay Chaitanya Prabhu was discussing very beautifully how there is investment of time and spending of time. Spending of time is of no use, and when we invest, our Prabhuji is smiling very nicely because investment. So when we invest our time in for the right purpose with the right person, then actually we live eternally. We live eternal life. So as I said, that devotees are spared. That means their devotion is spared. Not necessarily their material assets are spared. Because we see that all devotees, they come, they perform devotional service, and they, at some point of time, they leave to the next destination or to the spiritual world. However, leaving their mortal bodies and other belongings. But what is protected is their devotion. So that we can very clearly see in Srimad Bhagavatam, that how Bharat Maharaj, his devotion was spared. Not necessarily his material body or whatever body. And even Gajendra, because he chanted the names of God in his previous life, therefore he could remember all those verses, and we see that how Gajendra's prayers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, very glorious, that Gajendra could remember everything, how he used to chant the glories of the Lord. So same thing he once again repeated. And even Bharat Maharaj, he could actually remember that he was trying to remember Krishna, but somehow or other the deer came in between, and so therefore he got distracted. But then he again took birth as Jada Bharat, so he could remember everything. So therefore this time he decided no distractions at all. So thoroughly he was fixed up, trying to remember Krishna, at the cost of people, making him fun of him, and trying to people misunderstood him. But still, Bharat Maharaj or Jad Bharat, this time he did not care for that. So that means his devotion was protected. So when it is said that devotees are spared, that means their devotion is not compromised. Devotion is spared so that they can continue their devotional service in their next lives. So, although the time can destroy anything and everything and anybody and everybody, but it cannot destroy one thing. What is that? Any guesses? What is it that time cannot destroy? Yeah? Bhakti, yes. And? Actually, ignorance. Ignorance is one thing which even time cannot destroy. Okay, therefore, the same in Gajendra's prayers, he said, Ichchami kalena na yasya viplavas. That kala cannot destroy this ignorance. So he is praying to Lord that I don't want to be in ignorance, because he was awarded a body of an elephant which is full of ignorance. So he is praying to the Lord, I don't want to be in ignorance. Although time destroys everything except ignorance. So it is such a thick layer. So it cannot be destroyed even by time. Although time can destroy the entire universes, but it cannot destroy ignorance. So that is the arrangement of the Lord Himself. So that we can take shelter of spiritual master who can actually destroy the ignorance. Isn't it? Such a wonderful thing, isn't it? Which time personified Krishna cannot himself destroy, but the devotee of the Lord, he can destroy the ignorance. That is the beautiful arrangement made by Krishna. That Krishna doesn't want to take credit everything for himself. He is most willing to give credit to his dear devotees, spiritual masters. So when we approach spiritual masters, so that destruction of ignorance will be taken place. That means the time which cannot destroy even ignorance, but the spiritual master, bona fide, authorized spiritual master, can destroy the ignorance. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry walking on the street who claim themselves as spiritual masters and God also sometimes. They cannot do this kind of a magical thing of destroying ignorance of the people. But one who has taken complete shelter of the Supreme Lord in bona fide sampradaya or disciplic succession, and when he has realized himself as a servant of God and realized the conclusions of the scriptures, at that time that person becomes eligible to destroy the ignorance of the people. Therefore we see that wonderful verse in Gautamiya Tantra which we often recite. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. That means this Ajnana is like a timira. Timira is a thick cloud. So that can be destroyed by Jnana Anjana, torchlight of knowledge. And that torchlight of knowledge is given by the spiritual master. Therefore, we are supposed to approach spiritual master to get that actual knowledge of devotional service. So, and similarly, again it is stated in the scripture, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyashu Shreyam Uttamam. Tasmad, therefore, Gurum Prapadyeta. Approach spiritual master and surrender yourself unto his lotus feet. Jigyasu, because if at all you are interested in understanding the absolute truth. Shreyam Uttama, that is the ultimate benefit, ultimate truth. Again it is said, the scriptures are replete with such indications where we are supposed to go to the spiritual master and take his shelter. Again it is said that Tad Vijnanartham Sagurum Eva Avigachet Samitpaniyam Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham. Tad Vijnanartham. So Vijnana Artham, that means that is knowledge and there is realized knowledge. Vijnana is realized knowledge. So anybody who is interested in understanding the supreme absolute truth, that Vijnana, then one should approach Abhigachet. That means one must go to the spiritual master and surrender oneself at his lotus feet. And he just cannot walk in, bare hands. Samit Paniyam. So you should carry something. In those days, in gone ages, when disciples would approach their spiritual masters, they would approach with some firewood in their hands, because the spiritual master, they would do some yagyas, fire sacrifices. So in order to assist their spiritual masters, the disciple is supposed to carry samit pani. Samit is a kind of a firewood which he would get in the forest, and he would carry it and bring it to the spiritual master, assist in his fire sacrifice. That means we have to do something what we can do at the lotus feet of spiritual master, assist him in his service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore one had to carry something. That means some kind of a service attitude has to be demonstrated. And when the spiritual master understands that how we are very much interested in rendering some service, then the spiritual master gives that knowledge, rather that realized knowledge, vijnana. And in this path of devotional service, there are so many obstacles. It is not so easy. We have now understood how that path is not so very, it's not a cakewalk as they say. It's path of little hardship. And in 7th canto, there are a series of verses how to tackle these obstacles very nicely. You do this, this will happen, you do that, that will happen. There are so many series of verses, but at the end, the conclusion is given, and that is very wonderful. Sarvam chaitat gurur bhaktya purusha hi anjasa jayit. That means what we may have so many problems and so many obstacles, so many difficulties to face in our devotional service, but everything will be taken care if at all you surrender completely at the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Sarvam chaitat gurur bhaktya. Sarvam, that means everything will be taken care. And that means gurur bhaktya, it is a wonderful word, gurur bhaktya. Bhakti is devotional service to the Supreme Lord, isn't it? But here the word gurur bhaktya, that is what is spoken here. That means we should have similar kind of devotion or service attitude which we have for the Supreme Lord. We should have the similar kind of attitude towards Guru, Gurur Bhaktya. So there is one Krishna Bhakti or Guru or Vishnu Bhakti, and there is also something called Guru Bhakti. Guru Bhakti is to serve Guru as thinking himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although he is not Supreme Lord himself, but he is as good as Supreme Lord. So therefore, when we have that kind of an attitude, that here is my spiritual master who has come to deliver me, so let me serve him first, let me become devotee of my spiritual master, then maybe I'll think that I'll become devotee of Krishna or Vishnu, like that. So that much importance when one gives to Guru, then by the mercy of that spiritual master, everything will be taken care. Otherwise, it is almost impossible to overcome these obstacles. So therefore, when we see these, goldsmiths, they have, small hammers. With those small hammers, they tick, 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 they hit those small, bangles or ornaments, golden ornaments, and they try to give shape to that. But that is like a very small thing, and that kind of an attitude will not help us, because we have so many things to correct. Our kind of a thing is like that of a huge thing made of iron. If at all you want to give shape to iron, you cannot use goldsmith's hammer. You should bring a blacksmith's hammer. There are two blacksmith also. He also has hammer. And when he lifts his sledgehammer and he brings it back, then something happens. What happens? As they say in Hindi, ek maar do tukda, isn't it? That means then the obvious things happen. That means our ignorance is destroyed, because it is as thick as an iron rod. So therefore, instead of doing this and that, one can surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does so by surrendering at the lotus of his spiritual master. And that spiritual master has that power to destroy the ignorance which the time itself cannot destroy. So therefore again, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna personally says, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Isn't it? Wonderful, beautiful verse uttered by the Supreme Lord himself, indicating how important it is to go to the spiritual master and learn from him. One has to do three things. Krishna says, pariprashnena, and pranipatena, one has to surrender and render some service, sevaya, and also some ask questions. And by doing these three things, one can actually understand one's constitutional position, and then one can surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, in this month of marathon, coming December 1st, we are celebrating Gita Jayanti, Mokshadaya Ekadashi, the day when Lord Krishna actually uttered these beautiful words in the form of Bhagavad Gita to his dear devotee Arjuna. So, Srila Prabhupada indicated that we can actually distribute these Bhagavad Gitas, not only Gita, any of his books, because those books are actually, once, it was asked Srila Prabhupada, so who wrote these books? Rameshwar Swami, who was, sitting beside him, he was trying to answer this question asked by some press reporter, I think. Actually, Prabhupada, what happens? Prabhupada is so much devoted to Krishna. The Krishna is sitting within his heart and he has written these books. He indicates what to write and all of that. But Prabhupada said, no, he personally wrote all these books. Again, he corrected. What do you think? No, personally Krishna has written these books. So that much conviction Srila Prabhupada had, because these are none other than, words of God. And in this Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, 1868, that ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu vedasyati bhaktim maya param krutva mame vaishasi asamshayah. Samshaya, so many times Krishna uses these words. Asamshaya, asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam, isn't it? Because we have this tendency to doubt. So therefore Krishna is saying every now and then, don't doubt, my dear Arjun. He says that edam paramam guhyam jnanam, this very confidential knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So when you give this knowledge to my devotees, those who are faithful, then what happens? You will be endowed with pure devotional service yourself. Bhakti mai param krutva. And mame vaishasi asamshaya. And at the end of your life, you will come back to me. That much assurance Krishna has given. So all we need to do is we should try to distribute this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with whomever we can. And at the end we will be given pure devotional service, and after that we will directly go to the spiritual world to live with Krishna. Such a wonderful arrangement Krishna has made for us. And Krishna, next verse is that Nacha tasmad manusheshu kaschin me priya kruttama bhavita nacha me tasmad anya priyataro bhuvi. This is like ultimate statement. Look at this, what he is saying. Nacha tasmat manusheshu. My dear Arjun, so amongst all the human beings, that person will become very dear to me who actually distributes this knowledge. And in the past, nobody was so dear to me. And in the present also, nobody will become dear to me. And in future also. Bhavitanacha tasmad. So even in future, nobody will become dear compared to that devotee who is trying to distribute this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Look at these statements of Krishna. They are not taken to be lightly. They are loaded with so much of emotions. Krishna has filled his emotions in these verses. So therefore, now it is the time to actually, to share our whatever knowledge we have gathered to other people, so that we can actually make their lives also perfect. Because our lives are perfect because we are trying to surrender to Krishna, we are trying to chant the holy names, we are trying to read the scriptures, and we have understood the importance of human form of life, and it is Krishna's guarantee that we will be spared, although he will not spare anybody else, but he will spare us because we are trying to surrender at his lotus feet. So other day Baldev Prabhu, he was indicating that Last year, as per the instructions given by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, we actually distributed so many Gitas. Actually, he was telling that 6,25,000, something like that. Those many Gitas were distributed. Otherwise, we from ISKCON Chowpatty, we just would be happy to distribute 1 lakh or 1.5 lakhs of Bhagavad Gitas. But because it was the request and order of His Holiness, so we took it, we devotees, we took it very seriously, and we actually crossed the limit in the sense more than anybody. So first we stood all over the world to distribute so many Bhagavad Gitas. Again, Baldev Prabhu was again indicating this time, because it is the 75th Vyas Puja or birth anniversary of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So we can also, do better than even last year, or at least what we did last year. So again we have one more chance to share the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with all of us. By doing so, we will please devotees, we will please spiritual masters, and we will also please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the goal of life. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.